Honestly, what morals and values people have these days? So many people want honesty, but most of them keep lying to themselves because they don't want to face their issues, they don't want to face their trauma, and they still keep on living through patterns and misery and then complaining about it. You have to love yourself before you can expect somebody else to love you the right way and to give you all that happiness that you're craving. You have to make yourself happy. So Gen Z and basically everyone here on this planet has an amazing opportunity right now to really shift the way of thinking, to shift the entire vibration of this planet, and to really become aware of what you can do, which is healing your trauma and breaking through that generational misery. Many people do not understand their roles these days. Many people are living totally unconscious and totally not aware of who they are and what their power is. Toxicity teachings are a trend. Materialism is the new spirituality. And I don't believe in this, Don't get me wrong, I love a cute Chanel bag, right? But you always have to look for your happiness inside of you. Why are there so many rich people that are not fully happy, that are not fulfilled, no matter how many bags they have, no matter how many cars they have, no matter how big their mansion is? There's so many rich people that are unfulfilled. And why? Because they seek their happiness outside of self. And every single time that you seek happiness outside of self, it is not fulfilling, because guess what? You have to fill your cup first. So instead of listening to all these toxicity teachings and, stay toxic bullshit, you have to make sure that you are a cycle breaker. You have to make sure that you're not living up to this fake reality. You have to make sure that you're aligned with what you do and that your soul is happy from within. You have to make sure that you seek your kingdom first. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aliana. I'm so excited to give you guys the mindset talk that you need today. So let's go. I already said that you need to make sure that you're practicing self-love. And don't get it twisted. Self-love is not selfishness. So many people be always like, oh, protect your peace, don't let anybody close to you, they will just hurt you. And that is wrong, because you just have to make sure that you practice self-love, you have self-esteem, self-confidence, self-respect, and you have healthy boundaries. You do not look down on people. You do not treat other people badly or poorly just because somebody else in your past treated you bad, because that is toxic, okay? You have to make sure that you are holding your value, your morals on a very high standard, and that you are yourself high value. And how do you do that? You become high value through literally absorbing knowledge and really just getting better every single day, thriving for more and thriving to become a better person, treating other people well, helping other people. That is truly what will help you develop yourself and become high value by growth and contribution. So everybody that always tells you, hey, love yourself and protect your peace. Yeah, protect your peace by not dealing with shitty people, by not letting toxicity allowed to be in your life, by not giving other people permission to treat you badly. But that is just boundaries, Boundaries and standards are very, very different from allowing toxicity in your life and letting just everybody treat you like this, or just cutting everything off. Because I already said in one of my previous videos, we are meant for connection. I'm sometimes thinking that I'm such an anti-social person, but I'm actually not. I love connecting with people. I just have to be very careful with who I allow in my presence and who I give my energy to. And that those people I give my energy to are people that appreciate that energy, that can give that energy back to me, that have the same values as me, and that are just, aligned with where I want to go with my vision and with who I am. So in that way, you're not cutting yourself off from the world. You are actually exploring and connecting more, but with the right people. And that's what it's all about, attracting your tribe and attracting the right people instead of shutting yourself off. Also, this do them like they do you mentality is so wrong, because you need to make sure that you're always that your thoughts are always speaking love towards yourself and towards others, because the only person that you're hurting with your thoughts is yourself, because you will always attract the manifestation of your thoughts. And the universe or God doesn't know, it doesn't make a difference of you wishing somebody unwell or wishing yourself unwell. It doesn't know the difference of yes or no. I don't want this or I do want this. It just gives you the manifestation of the frequency of the thought and the feeling that you have. Do you feel good by wishing other people bad stuff to happen? No, most likely not, or you are literally a satanic person or a masochist. So let's not do that. Make sure that you always just give what you also would want to receive. Treat other people well, wish other people well. That's why I always tell people, like, I don't care if somebody hates on me. So many people are always like, what do you do if you have haters? You know what? I don't care if I have haters. I wish them well. I wish them well. I wish them to get well, because they must be living in such a misery for, being a hater. My mom didn't raise a hater. She knew how she raised me was with having good morals, how to be a good friend, how to be a good listener, how to, help people, and how to make it with genuine intentions and not to just, get something out of it. Like sometimes you just got to do something just to be nice, just to be a good person, just to be a good human being. And I feel like this world could be such a better place if more people would think that way and actually do stuff out of love and selflessness to help somebody else and to just spread some positivity. So just realize that the next time that you are wishing somebody else ill, that you most likely will get it yourself. If you are angry at a person and you say mean things to that person, how do you feel? You usually feel bad and you usually regret saying those things, right? And I don't mean that I'm perfect. And I don't need you to be perfect all the time. Sometimes, yes, we can be angry and be frustrated and we say things that we don't mean. It is just important that we apologize and that we also forgive ourselves and not keep on beating us up. Words can really be like weapons sometimes, and we need to make sure that we're not saying these bad words. I also don't really like listening to songs that way anymore, that are constantly talking about bitches and fucking and this and that. Like, I don't really like this anymore. That really does not really align with my future version of myself. So what do you listen to? What you speak to yourself, how you speak about others, to others, and just what you let close in your circle is really determined of where you are going in your future. Everything that you do, say, and act right now in the present is going to also create your future. Imagine what would happen if you just send out more love towards yourself, towards other people. Just send it your way. Love is one of the highest frequencies. Like, we are literally love and light, right? So you have to make sure that this is what you're going to send out, because then you will be on the highest frequency. So even if somebody talks ill to you, even if somebody is mean to you, mocking you, disregarding you, whatever it may be, still think love. Still think love about yourself and about that other person. Don't be angry at the other person, because they all live in their different realities. And by you wishing back to that person and, arguing back and being mean as well, like, you won't do anything. You will just do it to yourself, because you just literally lowered your frequency to match that vibe. But if you literally keep your frequency and try to open your heart and share that love, constantly feel happy and be in that constant state of feeling good and just feeling loved all the time. And by spreading that out, you will automatically attract better, because every single thing that we feel and do and say automatically reflect in our outer world. Like our life or circumstances or people that we meet, everything that is happening is a reflection of our inner world. So you need to make sure that you keep your inner world in order and that you turn inwards. So if you decide to go that path of healing and of growth and becoming that cycle breaker that you should be becoming, then just realize and know that growth is messy and that healing takes time. When you fall in the street and you have a wound somewhere, you're not when it's healing, you're not yelling at your wound to heal faster and rushing it to heal, right? And the same thing is what you need to do with your inner world, with your inner wounds, right? Because sometimes these wounds can be so, far in the past from our childhood or upbringing or teenage years. And sometimes we don't even know why we sometimes get so triggered and react in a certain way. The only reason of you reacting a certain way is because you have a little small trauma back in your childhood or your past somewhere, and that is why it's triggering you. Every single time that something triggers you, that is a sign for you that this part of you needs healing. You're constantly triggered by other people mocking you or criticizing you, then you might have a trauma about somebody being very mean to you and criticizing you in a very bad way. Sometimes criticism is not bad. Like, people just want to give you feedback and they want to help you to get better. So that was something that I always had an issue with, because my father used to always knock me down, like literally emotionally abusing me, telling me I'm worth nothing, I can't do this, I can't do that. That was obviously not constructive criticism. So now when somebody is criticizing me or giving me some feedback that is not the best way that I imagine that feedback to be, I'm just like, I'm getting super fast, very defensive, because I'm like, I just want to like cope, like I'm protecting myself, right? I don't want to deal with that negativity. But then usually like in that moment where I'm feeling like the heat is coming up and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want to hear this, I'm just like breathing and I'm like allowing myself to first listen and to think about if that what the person says is actually making sense, if that person wants my, it has good intentions, wants my best, has my best in mind, and just wants to help me. Because most of the time now that I'm dealing with a person that gives me criticism, it's actually constructive criticism that I can take to get better. It's not always attacking you, right? So if you're feeling attacked by somebody criticizing you, it is something from your past. And you have to realize what kind of patterns you have. Because if a person is telling you some constructive criticism and they want to help you, but you always just get defensive, how do you want to evolve and get better in life, right? Like, you will just burn a lot of bridges by just not maybe talking to that person anymore, or being like, oh my gosh, like, who does she think she is? Like, she just told me this and that, like, blah, blah, blah. But actually, that person just had your best in mind. But you are blocking and resisting to get better. So you have to learn how to recognize these patterns and these, this behavior of yourself. Then whenever you see that you're getting triggered, you just have to ask yourself, why am I acting up? Why am I feeling so offended? Why am I feeling so bad right now? What is this? And try to realize what kind of event happened in your past that made you feel the exact same way. And if you're literally just projecting that past onto the situation right now, that is nowhere the same, because nobody, like none of my friends, nobody else ever talked to me like this, but I was still feeling offended. So that's when I had to learn, okay, like I have to learn how to take constructive criticism and not take it in a bad way, because that person just wants to help me. And it is still a hard process. Like, I know that I'm love and light, but I also know that I have darkness in myself too, that I have dark days where I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, like I literally don't even want to be here. Like, I just want to lock myself out of the world and like hide under my blanket or something, right? Like, we all have those dark days. You just have to learn how to embrace yourself fully, how to not, beat yourself up for these dark days, how to not wanting to be so perfect all the time, because life is not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect always. It's just meant to be fully embraced and fully lived in like whatever route you're going, and looking always for the best outcome and seeking the best in everything. So you have to give yourself permission and time to work on yourself and to embrace those dark days with you, because they are a part of your wounds. And as I said, you are not yelling and rushing your wounds to heal faster. You need to give yourself that time, and those inner wounds that you can't physically see, those are the worst, and those need the most love and the most healing. Learn to release the pain. And I know that can be sometimes hard, letting go and forgiving and moving on, because you're so used to that misery that sometimes you are even suspicious when things are going too well. Like, do you know this feeling when you're happy and everything's like working out for you and everything is good and actually how you want it to be, but you're almost like, that doesn't feel right. Like there must be something happening. Like something is gonna happen and take that happiness away from me. And the thing is, guys, that not because of you are deserving that misery or that bad event or somebody taking something away from you. It's not that you deserve it, but with your thoughts and your feelings, that suspicious kind of energy, that is what you're gonna attract. You will always attract matching energies from what you think and how you feel. And by you thinking like, this cannot be right, like something has to happen, like it cannot be true that I'm this happy. And then you attract this event or this person or whatever is matching with that energy. You attract this into your life. And so it's another confirmation for you. Oh, okay. See, I'm not meant to be happy. Every time things are going too well for me, somebody is taking it away from me or something is taking it away from me. Something happens. Do you know this feeling? Because I sure do. I had this belief for the longest period of my life, where I was literally thinking, because of my past, because of my childhood and what happened to me as a child, that I'm not meant to be happy because I didn't have that happiness when I was a child. So even years later, when that event was not even present in my life anymore, I already moved out, I already lived my own life, I still had that constant feeling of anxiety that something is about to happen. And when I was too happy for too long, I was just like, no, this can't be right. There must be something happening soon. There must be something bad happening soon. And then it happened. And I was like, well, guess what? I'm just not meant to be happy. And then when I read the book, The Secret, and I realized how many times I actually attracted these bad people, situations, events myself because of my belief system of what I believed was true for me when it was actually not. Like I do deserve happiness. I know that now. And I still have to teach myself that because it's a constant battle. Sometimes when some things are happening, I'm just like, well, here we go again, but actually then I check myself. I'm like, no. You know what? If this is happening right now, it must be because I had a certain thought or a certain feeling, maybe a few months ago where I was literally attracting this situation right now. And most of the time I can literally pinpoint an event or a thought or a feeling that I had where I'm still repeating the same old patterns, where I'm still fighting that old belief system. So this is why I'm telling you guys, if I'm deciding to talk about these things here on my channel and I'm trying to help you guys, I'm still fighting those same battles. Like nobody has it figured out. Nobody, okay? Every single person out there is struggling with at least something, like one single thing, right? Nobody has it all figured out because life is always about growth. It is not gonna end somewhere where you're like finally there and you're, waving the flag on the finish line. Always go further. There will always be a new goal, a new destination. And you have to learn how to see that journey as that destination itself, because that journey can be also fun. Because now every single time I'm catching myself like, hey, this is not supposed to be a thought. This is your old belief system. Your new belief system is. And then I'm telling myself a strong affirmation of how I can reprogram myself. Those are the times when I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm getting by. Like I'm actually growing. So exciting because I can see how I'm growing. Like I see myself growing and I can tell others about it, right? And when we do this all together and everyone is like sharing their success stories, like I had under one of my last videos, there were so many comments about people sharing what they're going through, what they've been through and how they're healing and how they're working on themselves. Like you guys can be so proud and we all can be so proud of ourselves, and we have to see this journey of self-development as like such a goal in itself to actually, keep on realizing and recognizing ourselves. And, not beating yourself up like, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm still not there. Like, how long should it take? Like, how many years? It doesn't matter because time is an illusion anyways. And just because somebody else at maybe 20 years old looks like they've all figured out, while you are maybe 40 and you're still struggling with something, at least you're recognizing that you're still struggling. Do you know how many people are living out there and they don't even have a clue about what they're doing and why they're attracting the way they attract? Because they're so unconscious and they're so unaware. Like this is worse, right? So you always have to appreciate your own journey. And at least now, at least you can now get better and work on yourself. And this is what you have to tap yourself on the shoulder for and be grateful for, right? Do not compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. You do not know what that person at 20 years old went through to get to that point. You can never read people's minds. As long as you do not walk in that person's shoes, you didn't walk that path, you cannot compare. You cannot compare yourself to anybody else. If you don't let go, you are literally choosing chaos over peace because that chaos is familiar. And I can sing a song from that because for the longest time I had such a habit of self-sabotaging my life, myself, because I still had that belief system from in my childhood. I do not deserve to be happy. I'm not meant to be happy. And this is just not true. And now I do know what I deserve, and I tell myself that, but it's still, I fight those old belief systems. But as long as you are not, realizing those patterns, you cannot move on. You cannot let go. You cannot release the pain. It is a constant thing that you have to keep on doing. It's not done by just saying it like, okay, I'm going to release my pain and that's it. No, you have to keep on doing it. And every single situation that you catch yourself acting a certain way, acting out, being frustrated, feeling triggered, this is your chance to learn. Recreate new patterns, new belief system, and new ways of thinking through repetition. And this is why it takes so long, because the sooner you start, the easier you will probably have it. Because, I started my self-development journey with 24, 25 or something. So I had literally 24 to 25 years to be programmed from my environment, things I learned, my circle, my friends, my parents, my childhood, everything. So now I have to, reprogram myself. And sometimes it can take time. I'm still learning and reprogramming and finding out new things that apparently trigger me. Surprise, we're never done learning, okay? So get over it. We need to actually keep on doing it, because otherwise you will keep on living your life on the sideline and you will never understand why things are happening. You know what, boo? It is happening because of you. It is happening because of you are creating your reality through your thoughts and feelings and actions. And if you want different, you got to do different. Viktor Frankl said, he's by the way a Holocaust survivor, we cannot avoid suffering, but we can choose how we want to cope with it and give it a different purpose and a different meaning. What that means is, I couldn't avoid my suffering in my childhood. What happened to you as a child is not your fault. Is it unfair sometimes? Yes, it is. Did you want that in your past to happen? Probably not, right? What you can do now is choose to heal it and choose how to reframe it and choose how to give it a different meaning. And that's literally what I did. I felt so disconnected for so many years because I always felt like nobody knows my secret, nobody understands me, nobody knows what I'm going through. And with that, I disconnected myself because I didn't speak about it. The first moment that I chose to speak about it and to share it with people that I knew, with my close friends and with my family, going to the police, so many things happened since then. And when I took the decision, and when I made the decision to share it here on my channel and talk openly about it, I created a whole new purpose for what I've been through as a child. From being disconnected, now I feel connected because I have people understanding me. I have people that support me. I have people that truly see me for who I am. And you can do that as well. From feeling unheard and unseen, now I feel heard and seen. And I can connect with people who are going through the same or a similar thing. And I can tell them, hey, here I am, I'm still standing. Sometimes I'm not well, but I'm still going. And you can do the same. You do not need to give up. But what did I do for many years? Embodied unhealthy coping mechanisms, self-sabotaging, and suppressing all my emotions, and that ended in depression and even disease. I was sick throughout the year, and I constantly felt unwell. And you know what? I changed that the minute I started to speak my truth. And this is why it's so freeing to start doing that and, start sharing your story, because you can inspire so many people with your story that you have no clue that anybody could feel just as you. But surprise, everyone has problems. I'm not the only person that happened to. I'm not. There's so many people out there that are going through the same thing. But with me speaking up, I can encourage somebody else to speak up, and that person can encourage somebody else. And it's literally like a domino effect. Like when you throw a stone in the water and it grows bigger and bigger circles. This is exactly what happens When you start to make that one decision for yourself, from feeling disconnected, now I feel connected. From feeling out of control and somebody taking from me, like I feel in control and I'm actually giving. From feeling not loved, I feel loved. From feeling unheard and unseen, I feel seen and heard. You have to decide however you want to give your story meaning, and you can always change your purpose. So whenever you think like, oh my God, this what happens to me has no purpose, it doesn't make sense, like why is this happening, it's so unfair, you know what, you can change the purpose and the meaning of your story. You can change it by talking about it, by inspiring other people. You can always change the meaning. And when you give your story a different meaning, that is when you take control, and that is when you take all that energy that you felt was taken from you, you take it back towards yourself, and then you can give it to other people. But you have to allow it to be a process. It's not like a drawer and you put back some clothes and then when it's full, you just close it and that's it. No, you literally, you pack some things, you unpack some things, you add new things, you keep on learning and adding and unlearning and relearning, repeating things all the time, and it's never finished. And you have to allow yourself to not be finished. And that is actually the fun in it, because you have to do more and more and more. And that is what you have to thrive for. In the Bible, it literally says, seek the kingdom first before you will receive your blessings. And the kingdom is within. So if you want the answers, if you want to go further in your life, if you want to change your life, you need to understand yourself. You need to ask yourself these questions. The key to your answers and everything that you're looking for is actually within. You have to find that fulfillment within yourself. And then you can spread it out there to the world and help other people and change the world as well with what you do, how you speak, and how you actually love yourself. Because if you love yourself unconditionally, then you can also love other people unconditionally. There's a few more tips on how you can learn about these things. I can recommend the book, The Mastery of Love by Miguel Ruiz, I think. I will put it here. And then also doing breath work. That is so transforming, guys. So if you want to go through a transformation, an inner transformation, you have to ask for it. Ask God, ask the universe, ask for a transformation, and you will receive it. Do breath work, ask yourself those questions during your meditation, like do those things to really take care of yourself. So I hope you like this video, guys. I really have some energy right now. I was so like in my flow, but I hope that you liked it and I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you'd never miss out on any other videos. And I'd appreciate your feedback in the comments. If you want to hear about something specific, just drop it there. And otherwise, I see you guys in my next video. Bye.